So this week's podcast is called The Emotional Rhythm of Being a Parent. And as per the last few weeks, I've plugged in my thoughts from the week with a theme in mind, and ChatGPT's come up with the questions. So they're very much geared around my experiences last weekend. And the question that's first come up is, why do weekends with your children sometimes feel so peaceful? And I think the word sometimes is really important there, because it doesn't always feel like that. I know with the businesses I sometimes feel a bit distracted and that I have things to do, despite them sort of being my world. And there's an interesting quote that I found, which is, children are not a distraction from more important work, they are the most important work. And that's by C.S. Lewis, and really resonates. They are the most important work, but I think sometimes as parents we need to give ourselves a bit of a break, because there are so many things going on, so many plates to spin: work, business, sport, friendships, family, life, struggles, whatever it might be. It sometimes does feel a challenge to put your children number one and just be solely intentional and solely in their company and completely present. It's tough, but this is one of those weekends when I certainly felt that, and it felt lovely. It felt almost perfect, and it was a little bit last minute. Some friends that they have didn't end up or couldn't come round on the Saturday, so we made a late decision. I got them to vote for what they wanted to do, and Lyme Regis was both of their second choices. So we landed on that. We went with that, and research suggests that the weekend that I've just experienced is called attunement, which is when people are emotionally in sync. Stress drops. Definitely felt very at ease at the weekend. Both businesses going well. Didn't feel the need, even though I did a bit of work on the Saturday on the Sunday when Izzy was at a party, and Layla did have a friend round on the Sunday, so I did have a couple of hours to do that. But I knew that I had that window. Maybe that helped. Maybe setting aside that work helped me to be present in the moment with the girls. So yeah, stress felt very low, very calm, very at peace, and the conversation flows, even though it's a little bit different with children. It was laughing and joking, and the general happiness was great, probably because mine was good as well. We impact our children way more than we realize, right? And yeah, felt very present, and hopefully helping them to, they're 9 and 12, but that kind of secure attachment that I want them to have with me. So that felt great. As I said, Sunday was similar. Izzy had a party, Layla had a friend over, but we were still in each other's company and still enjoying that time with just the three of us. It was nice that I could selfishly just have them to myself for that weekend. So that was that. And then the second question that ChatGPT has thrown up is, why does dropping your children off sometimes feel like such an emotional shift? And again, that's not a random question, that's how I felt. So I'll lean into that now. It's called transition grief. So I've learned Layla definitely struggles with that, with the move from me to their mum and back to me. She struggles with it more. Sadly for me, coming to me, which is difficult sometimes to see that and visibly see that, and verbally she says it as well. She doesn't mean anything by it, but I think where that secure attachment is so important, right? I know that I'll always be there for her regardless, and she probably feels safe that she can say things because she knows that I'm not going anywhere. So that transition grief, dropped them to school on the Monday morning, and I think subconsciously I always feel a bit down after a period of time with them, especially a special period of time when we went skiing over the New Year and in each other's pockets for a period of time, and then it's almost like a sharp reminder that, oh, actually, shit, I don't have them all the time. So going from that connection to separation, and then the drive home, working from home on Monday into straight into online meetings. I was on a proper downer, um, deflated, lethargic, and that quick shift from sort of dad mode to business owner, business leader, going into those meetings where I don't have time to kind of sit with it. It's like, right, park that and kind of in we go. So it is a bit of a mini withdrawal, and definitely felt that emotional drop. And I think the biggest thing that I've learned over the last couple of years since the split is that's okay. That's normal. It's not something to fix. And actually, it's probably a good thing. If I drop them off, it's like, oh, thank fuck for that. Off we go, back to freedom. Then maybe it feels like I wouldn't be doing my job properly as a dad. So it's not nice, but it comes from a good place, and actually, it just means that we've shared some good times together at the weekend, and I never want to sacrifice that, clearly. But it's almost like a reset, and then having them back Wednesday night when I always get them back, it's like feeling whole again, if you like. And that sounds a bit cheesy, but yeah, when they're here, it feels that it's as it's meant to be. And then this weekend ahead, I won't see them, so I've got that longer stretch to deal with, and I definitely try and make myself busy during those times so that I don't dwell on things. And I've completely accepted that as a new way of my life and embraced it. And any of you that follow me on social media know that I travel a fair bit, when I don't have the girls, to make the most of the beautiful world that we live in. So that's that. And then question 3, does having limited time with children make the time more intentional? 100%. And whilst I would never choose the path that's kind of happened, despite feeling happier with the new reality, my new life, it's not something that you would choose, right? When you go into a relationship or you go into a marriage and you have kids, and this isn't the path that anyone would choose at that point. It's worked out for the best. However, as I said, it's not a planned thing. And so when I say I appreciate them more, it's something that I've experienced, that because I don't have them as much, and when I have them the next weekend I do, it's what can we do, guys? What do you want to do? And I'm probably annoy them because it's like, let's go and play badminton, let's go to Lyme Regis. Can we go skiing? Is there still snow around at Easter? Can we get a cheeky holiday in? That's on my radar now, whereas previously it wouldn't have been. And lazy Saturday mornings when it's raining would have been okay, because I know that when it's sunny the next weekend, I've got, we would have been a family, we would have gone and done something, or I would have taken them somewhere. Now it's making the most of the time that I have with them, and fortunately that is 50% of the time. So 100% planning experiences, doing my best to be present. That is something I need to be better at. Get off my phone, not work wise, but just sometimes I feel like I'm drifting and I'm not really there. Not as negative as that, but something that I definitely need to work on for me. But what I am good at is planning stuff in with them, making sure that time is intentional, as I said. Because, and this leans into the next question, what do children remember? Well, it is. And if I think back to my childhood, like, I never wanted for anything time wise. Mum and dad are incredible, and they're incredible grandparents, and my sister and I never wanted for any love and affection, and they would take us wherever we wanted to go, sporting support, etc., etc. We weren't spoiled with gifts and things and money, etc. And that's what I remember. I don't remember any particular present, really. I remember getting different, like, football boots. I'd get excited by that, but that's probably because it enabled me to do the thing I loved as a child. And I remember going on holiday in France and it absolutely hammering it down, and my BAMP leaving the sunroof open and him running outside with no clothes on just to literally shut the sunroof. So like silly memories like that, and the girls do as well. And I think of some things they will mention to me, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head. And it's like, oh, do you remember that, Daddy, when we did this and this happened? And I think, oh yeah, I do actually. And happens a lot. And there's like skiing memories that I hope that they'll remember. And actually, there is one thing. So Izzy isn't the most graceful. We're by the side of a pool in the Maldives, and if I asked them one thing that they remember from the Maldives, it probably would be this, where I don't know where the word came on, but she kind of rolled into the pool and we called it a flobberdobber. And if I said that word to them when they come home later, they would both laugh and giggle. So beautiful beaches, palm trees, crystal clear seas, sharks, fish, turtles, all of that, those memories, but actually those like laughs, those moments, the giggles, those are the moments that stick with them. And so that's my mission, I suppose, as a dad. Yes, bringing them up to be the most wonderful human beings that they can be is job number one, but trying to create those memories, as many as I can, for me as well. For me as well is, yeah, so important to me. And a quote to finish off: in the end, kids won't remember the fancy toys you bought them. They will remember the time you spent with them. And that's what it's about for me. Apologies for that call in the middle there. I'll see if I can edit that out. But yeah, enjoy the time you have with your kids, because that time is finite, and I'm certainly on a mission to do that with mine. Thank you for listening, and I will see you again next week. Take care.